My mom says I shouldn't listen to Three Lies Radio, but I do it anyways.
Saved. It's cool. I'm good, guys.
You've also been on pills for the past 20 years. You've never flown a plane in the past 20 years.
13 hours, you have just been having mental breaks. Yeah, let's give him the keys. Great. And nobody says a word?
It doesn't make sense.
His daughter's like, hey, don't let him on that plane. He's like, his assistant should be like, yeah, he's fucking crazy. I'm not letting him on this plane.
Like, I did him a favor, friend to friend.
You know, we're both dads. So what?
Was that the line?
No, he said he asked him as a friend, as a father. What? Also, everyone was okay with it. You didn't need to put her in that room and lock her away. No one was stopping him.
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm a pilot. I can fly.
We trusted Randy Quaid in the first one.
Yeah, because he's a pilot. Remember, I'm a pilot. I belong in the air. Because he says it to the daughter when they're both flying.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm here. And he's like, I'm glad you're here. You're a pilot. You belong in the air. Just like your old man. And then he just starts having a spasm.
Do you have a spasm in the plane?
He had a little baby when he goes, oh. And like, what's happening?
Well, the queen knows we're here. That was another thing. Like, it's been 20 years. There should be, like, no sort of residual thing, like, going on, like...
I mean, we don't know how the alien...
The first Independence Day was so much cooler than the second one, and I guess we're going to take a look back on it now, as we look back on the 90s on this week's episode. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about movies, comic books, TV, technology, the internet, and pretty much everything else media-related. My name is Joe Greller. Joining me as usual is Sam Pixley and Garrett Welker. Good week.
Yeah.
Good week, everybody.
Yeah. I think
good week.
Good week. I'm not even going to stipulate whether it's day or night, or let the listener decide.
Is that like a question, like, has it been a good week?
No, just a good week.
He doesn't want to say good evening.
Like, gentlemen. Good morrow, or...
You could say good day.
Good day.
But it's not. Or
well, a day could be encompassing 24 hours. It doesn't necessarily mean... You could say, how you guys doing?
How are you doing?
There you go.
Doing pretty good, Joe.
Now that we figured that out, I'm doing great.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not doing great. Whenever we do these, I'll talk about it.
You're talking about what the topic is. What we're doing with these topics.
Yes.
Okay.
When we're doing this
I thought
topic.
You were talking about the podcast. Whenever we do one of these podcasts.
No, whenever we do one of these damn podcasts, I always get just so depressed. No, continue on. I'm sure there's headlines or something.
There is. Well, but anyway, we'll be talking about 90s today, another installment in our Looking Back series.
The second installment of a two-part installment.
No, because we said
for the 90s.
For the 90s,
for the 90s,
yes.
yeah.
But
we can get two more installments out of this.
3 if we hold off long enough.
Yeah.
And then we do a prequel series of...
Actually, no, we already have 3. It's 2017.
We can do 3.
We had 3 more at least.
I'm just saying, let's not rule out an 85 to 89 prequel series.
Prequel series? Ugh. I don't like the 80s. Anyway. We'll be looking back on the years 95 through 99. But first and foremost, some headlines. Starting with some internet news. Do you guys go to Yahoo a lot for anything anymore?
No.
Good, because it will soon no longer be a website.
Damn!
Well, they're changing it, right, to something else?
Well, yes, but that also will include Yahoo.com no longer being...
I do miss the Yahoo. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a great commercial. Yeah. Google ain't got nothing on that.
So Yahoo Chief Officer Marissa Mayer and co-founder David Filo are leaving the company once the company's sale to Verizon, that's right, Verizon is buying them out, is complete. Verizon is buying the core business for roughly $4.8 billion.
Damn.
So they will also change the name to Altaba.
What?
Altaba.
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
Altaba.
If you say it with authority, people believe you.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but... So, yeah, this is coming off a year where Yahoo saw 1 billion users breached with data history and...
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Hackers got to them really bad. According to a New York Times report, security teams often butted heads with Marissa Mayer, who is the CEO of the company, and wanted to emphasize a cleaner UI for Yahoo's users rather than beefing up security. So, yep.
Wow.
Oh, there's a lot more to it. Like Yahoo, they're just buying Yahoo, the core business.
Right.
Like the company that owns Yahoo also owns a bunch of other things. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know why they're buying it.
because I think it's still the second biggest search thing on the internet. And if you don't use Google, a lot of people use Yahoo. There are still lots of Yahoo email accounts. Yeah, behind Google, I'm sure it's the biggest account thing for a long time. And even still, I kind of go to Yahoo as like my front page newspaper to like kind of show me bits and pieces of what's going on in the world. Now it's gotten a little worse in the past couple of years, but there was a while there where I went to Yahoo. It was almost my homepage just because it would show me like a newspaper what was going on in the world. And it's the second biggest fantasy sports market behind ESPN. Really.
I'm actually showing that Yahoo is still going to be Yahoo.
Is it?
The engine will be. The Altima is just going to be like a zombie company that owns everything, and it just kind of sits there.
Interesting.
And that's a thing. Google did it.
Yeah.
With I can't remember what it's called. It's like Apple or something. It's not Apple, but it's like A or something. It's something ridiculous. Some company that owns
Just
Google.
nonchalant Apple.
Yeah, Apple nonchalantly owns Google. Of course they do. No, they don't.
No, that was. Oh, it's Alphabet. Alphabet Inc.
Okay.
is what owns Google, but it is just Google.
To us non-business people.
Yes.
It's an American multinational conglomerate.
I believe we talked about that too once on the show.
Probably. Because it means nothing to us. It means something to people that
Run the numbers.
know what's going on, but...
If you have a 401k or stock, it means stuff in that.
True.
Do you have 401k or stock?
I have a 401k, yes.
Are you dipping into Alphabet?
It's in a group of stock stuff that is connected to my 401k, yes.
Okay. Have you seen anything? Does it matter to you? Have you noticed any changes, influxes, or anything with your account?
I don't keep a close enough eye on my account to notice that, so...
Curses.
But to say it doesn't mean anything, it matters more to more people than you probably think.
It doesn't mean anything to someone. To me, it doesn't mean anything to, even if you have a 401k, because you are, I mean, maybe it matters to you on like a smaller level because you aren't going to make I don't think you're going to be able to control and contact your 401k group and be like, hey, I want you to get rid of Alphabet or things like that. I'm not sure that's a thing you can do.
You can switch to pick different options.
I don't know how much you do that in a 401k.
You can do it every day if you want.
Okay. Neat.
Finances. Anyway, speaking of that.
Like I said, to people that run the numbers, it matters. But to us laymen, it does not.
Yahoo was once upon a time, though, the top search engine on the internet. And in 1998, it had a chance to buy Google for only $1 million and passed.
What a fool.
In Monday morning quarterbacking, it's always easy to look and see.
But even $1 million in 1998, that's not a lot of money when you're talking about exchanging hands of businesses.
Yeah.
But how big was Google in 1998?
I would say definitely not as big as it is now, obviously. But
No, because the internet was not as big as it was now. But as far as the internet stuff goes, it was probably big enough.
Big enough to be noticed, but not big enough to...
Yeah, I mean, it's a competition.
Yeah.
Be like if Coke could have bought out Pepsi, probably in like 45, they would have or something. So
yeah,
that's my theory. Anyway, since it is a 90s episode, and speaking of things of the past, I thought I'd throw this little headline in there. Twin Peaks official release date and number of episodes has been told at the Television Critics Association press tour this past week. It's coming to Showtime. And, of course, David Lynch and Mark Foster are going to run the series. So it's going to be 18 installments, and it's going to premiere on Showtime, and it will be a continuation of the previous series.
Good. That's what we've all been waiting to hear.
Right.
I don't watch that show.
I didn't either.
I just don't care.
It's one of the first cult series ever on television, as far as, like, sci-fi and everything else.
To me, that's an immediate turn-off at this point, though.
Why?
The word cult, to me, doesn't mean what it used to.
Yeah.
To me now, it sounds very pretentious.
But we're talking about something that wasn't. Okay, like, this is still the definition of what a cult following was back in 1991, 93, I think is when the show was on.
Okay.
So it's still a very small version thing. Like, for us to sit here and not talk about it, but say we're into the whole comic book and sci-fi and news and everything, would be a vast overlook on our part. I mean, this is a predecessor that came before just about everything we know and love. You probably have no X-Files. You probably would have no Supernatural. You would probably have no...
Hey, those guys are going to be sexy no matter what. So you were still going to get Supernatural.
And it's also the first series that people were left wondering what happened because it ends on such a cliffhanger that people have been questioning what happened for years. And for it to come to Showtime, like, this is something that you would hear, like, as a Netflix revival or something like that. So this is a pretty big card for Showtime to grab because it's already got a built-in audience that wants to know what happens next.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are super excited. I put Twin Peaks in that category of when somebody is a big fan of Twin Peaks and they hear that you don't watch Twin Peaks or you've never heard of it, they think less of you.
I've never met anyone who actually watched Twin Peaks.
Because that's how obscure it is.
But have you met someone who thinks less of you because you've never watched Twin Peaks?
No, that's why I said I think.
You think? Okay. So you're jumping to conclusions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what life is. Jumping to conclusions. I've seen some of David Lynch's other movies, though, and that guy has got some thoughts about things.
Well, yeah.
He's out there, man. Have you seen Eraserhead?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. And Blue Velvet.
Yes. All right, moving on to then some news Sam will probably care about. The CW has renewed 7 shows for next season.
6 too many. Yeah, it's me.
Okay, what's the one that is...
Vampire Diaries.
That didn't get renewed. That's in its final season.
Oh.
You didn't know that? That's done. They announced early in the year that the big question with Vampire Diaries is will Nina Dobrad's... Or Nina Dobrev?
Nina Dobrev?
Dobrev? Is that
I don't know.
Whatever.
Will she return?
Yeah,
for the finale.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Oh,
but that show's in its last season. It's done. They've already announced that. No,
until it comes back.
No,
like the cult classic Twin Peaks.
In 20 years. Sure.
Yeah, I'll still be alive. Years. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'll be so excited.
The 7 shows that the CW has renewed is all 4 superhero shows: Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl. The 2 comedies that are always critically acclaimed in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Jane the Virgin, and also, of course, keeping its record run, Supernatural for season 13.
Yeah.
So, what is not, and pretty much what is not going to be renewed because neither series got back ordered was No Tomorrow and Frequency, and it's the first time. It is because it's also the first time though in 11 years of the CW that no series got eventually a full series order. So normally every freshman series is given a full 22. They never ordered the back 9 on both.
That's probably an indication of the power that the superhero shows have, is that they don't need to bother giving the other money because they know they'll wait until they get a hit. They'll keep popping them out until they get a hit, which is not necessarily a good thing for the CW because it's a trend that a lot of other stations have hit.
Which
shows
did you say didn't get the whole?
No Tomorrow and Frequency. Frequency based off the movie Frequency.
Yeah.
Which who the fuck thought that was going to work?
It's a great movie.
Sure.
It is a great movie. It's like Lost to me. It's such a self-contained story
that you don't.
How can you stretch that out?
Yeah.
Like I remember watching
like Lost, the TV show?
Yeah, I remember watching the trailer for Lost and be like, the plane crashes, they're on the island. Unless it was going to become Gilligan's Island, which it didn't. And then the storylines kind of went nowhere because they had to stretch out what is basically a self-contained plot. A group of people crash land on an island.
There's a polar bear, though.
Well, it was also purgatory. And they all died.
Was it, though?
It was, yes.
You sure?
That's what they said. That's what creator said.
And who was the king of purgatory?
I don't know. I never watched the show.
The polar bear.
Was he?
No, I don't know.
Oh, well.
That show is on my list with Twin Peaks. Being a real Debbie Downer today.
So, another show in its final season, though, is Rain. That will not get another season, they said. So, when that debuts mid-season, that's done. And then, left up in the air, as usual, are iZombie, The 100, and The Originals, which is
I thought the 100 was done.
No, The 100 always is at mid-season. The 100 never premieres until, like, March.
Apparently, The 100 is a great show.
Yes.
From what I've heard. Again, I have not seen it. I got to start watching things.
So... But the interesting one is The Originals is not renewed either. And that is this Vampire Diaries spinoff. So will they continue the universe even though there is no Vampire Diaries?
I don't know.
Okay.
The world may never know.
In other news, the Music Meister will be the villain on the musical crossover that is Arrow and Flash. Because, yep, that's a real thing.
Well, it's not Arrow. I thought it was just Flash.
Flash and Supergirl. Thank you. Sorry. The Glee people.
I was about to say, what?
You know what though? Bet I would watch that if they brought it onto Arrow and had Oliver sing something and just hate it the whole time.
Yeah.
I'd be super into that.
Yeah.
I'm just not into this.
I like the idea. I mean, it makes sense with what you got.
Yeah, I just especially a crossover too. So I don't know. There's also talk that Neil Patrick Harris may be cast as the Music Meister, considering
Because he played him in Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, he voiced him in Brave and the Bold. So
He's busy being in Lemony Snicket's.
Yeah, I mean,
or whatever his
that's
name
done.
is.
That's
if it's already on, if it's on
Yeah,
Netflix,
It's on
on
Netflix
season 2.
in 4 days.
you wouldn't. You don't start filming.
I was just commenting on that he was in it. I don't think it's a horrible. I would have preferred them to go with the Mr. Mixelplix, but they're using him for something else.
Are they?
Yeah, he's in it. They cast him. They already showed pictures of him too. He's just a guy in a suit.
Oh.
But
Is it Gilbert Gottfried?
it is not.
Well, then what are they doing? They're doing it wrong.
It's also not a tiny man either. So
You can still use Gilbert Gottfried, and it would still work.
I never thought of that, and that's quite good.
Especially because he's needing work.
I mean, why do you dislike it so much, Joe? It reeks
feels-
of Whedon.
it does, but this one feels forced.
It does feel like they're just like reaching for stuff with this one. It's
Why?
like-
You have two people that are both singer-song people.
Yeah,
Because it's
but that's half of Hollywood. It doesn't mean I'm gonna make a
with like
a
sci-fi
musical episode every time.
supernatural with sci-fi supernatural elements. It makes sense to me with a superhero. Like I've never seen a superhero musical, or when there is, we make fun of it, like Spider-Man Into the Dark,
That was
or
trash.
or
But you
like
wanted it to be
Superman,
awesome.
or Superman the musical that was on ABC, or we always make fun of these things when they're in superhero realm. So I don't know why this would be any different.
The only reason that I would think is that this doesn't feel forced to me because of the two actors that are in it. I mean, they already did this song and dance bit with Flash when they had that episode where he sang karaoke, and that felt a little forced.
So
I
then
think
why does a whole episode not feel forced?
I don't know. It's because to me they went all
Because there's
in.
more of it.
And to me, they went all in. And I appreciate that they went all in as opposed to saying, oh, let's have one where he's doing karaoke. Look, he's a singing song man, as opposed to if they just try and create a whole story around it.
Makes sense. All right, coming up, 90s, years 95 through 99, and guaranteed to be no musicals on that one.
Not true.
You would Newsies.
Is what?
Newsies was a movie.
In 95? No, what? Christian Bale's young in that movie.
Okay, Google. When did the Newsies movie come out?
The answer after this.
Hold on now. Oh, yep, getting there. Almost got it. Oh yeah, 3 Wise Radio.
Let's roll! So you're really a 90s fan?
We're gonna party like it's 1999.
Okay, SpongeBob, here's some more stuff for you. It's I Love the 90s Part 2. This is Part 2. So come and get it.
90s back. All right. Break it down. Part 2.
Into our second installment of Remembering the 90s. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what I called this segment the first time we did it. So
I heard the 90s.
I think I did call it I Love the 90s.
No, I think that was what MTV did, right?
They did, but I used the intro for us too.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Nice. That's theft.
Not on a big enough scale.
Yeah.
It's more plagiarism than theft. So, what we're doing now is what we did earlier was we went through the years 90 through 94, saying films that we thought were the best that year, and then Sam would let us know what was the hottest toy
I got so many hot toys for you.
in 90 through 94, and then we also went through like the top 10 lists and everything else. We basically took you through a year of cinema and maybe what could be reminiscent of your childhood if you were a child of the 90s. So we left off with 94, a year that you guys thought in that 5-year period was the best film year by far.
Yes.
Yeah, but it had a...
I think it was 90. Was it 93 or 94 for you guys?
For me, it was 93.
It was 93? Okay, because you guys shared the same year.
Yeah, it was 93 because it had Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, okay.
Unfortunately, I did not have the trump card of Jurassic Park in this one. This is what I was talking about earlier, is that like this, when we do these segments, it's a real downer. For me personally, because I'm looking at all these movies and I have a lot of internal strife as to which ones are better. And I was like, do I want to talk about this one? How many can I put on this list? Also, there's so many movies in the 90s that I haven't seen and that I know we're about to argue about.
Ooh.
Bad Boys.
Ooh.
The movie.
I'm going to tell you what I told you 2 weeks ago. I own it. You can go into the other room.
I'm watching something on a DVD like an animal.
What's wrong with that? I would watch something on a VHS if it was the movie that I liked.
I only watch high quality 4K Blu-ray.
And that is why your knowledge is limited.
Yep, to beauty.
Certain people would argue that you're only supposed to watch things in lesser quality. Much like, what was it, the Magnificent Eight? Or no,
7.
No, Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
It was filmed with
35 mil.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, 1995.
So we should listen to Quentin Tarantino, that pretentious prick.
Yes. 1995. Who wants to go first? Because I've got like the list in front of me, the entire thing.
It was a good year. Like
yes, they're all
they're all really good. That's why this
5
sucks. Hate this.
I know which year I chose, and like, but it just started because I started in 95 and I was just like, all right, what movies? Oh, well, these are really good movies. 96. Oh shit, these are really good movies too. And it just kept escalating. So I'm just like, man. I mean, we had Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We had Braveheart. We had 12 Monkeys.
Try and limit it to 5.
Oh fuck.
That's what I did.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just gonna be rambling off things. I also wanted to do a thing that I think will upset you guys, to see if you know. I would go through the list of movies that I haven't actually seen.
Okay.
Because that's a big thing.
Yep.
As I kept going through this, I was like, haven't seen that, haven't seen that, haven't seen that, and I know they're all classics.
Okay, I'll let you go with your 5 then while I narrow mine.
Oh,
down
my
real
5
quick.
big
Yeah.
ones. So my top 5 I put, and then I tried to include one in each one that was at the time I loved.
Mm-hmm.
So the one for me at the time in 95 that I loved, and like the few years after that, Heavyweights.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That kid has a Snickers bar in his bedpost.
It's some of Ben Stiller's best work, playing multiple roles. And
He's so talented.
it's okay. You know what it is?
really is.
It's almost like the guy from Dodgeball, the owner of Cobra Jim, teaches the fat Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, it's like an
It's so great.
amalgam of like 8 different movies from the 90s, like mixed into one.
I wanted to do that, like hang glide, land on
And
like
the Blob.
giant.
Yeah, the Blob.
Oh, I want to do that so
movie's
bad.
sweet, and it makes you feel good about yourself. So that was on there for, especially at the time. GoldenEye, obviously.
Which is interesting because it's the first Bond movie we've mentioned in all of these. Because 90 through 94 was the longest period of time that you
Without
got
one.
without a Bond film.
And that was the only one on my list, the only Bond movie.
That's
And
so
then,
overlooked.
yeah, no, well, there's a lot of other ones. And then for me, it was Jumanji.
Oh yeah.
And then my last 2, I actually didn't include Toy Story, just because, I mean, it's a classic, but for me, it was these specific movies for a specific year. 7.
Yeah.
And The Usual Suspects.
7, in my opinion, like I said, is the precursor to what eventually becomes like torture porn and the Saw franchise.
Yeah, but in a classy way.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it depends
seven
depends
was-
on your method of classy. The overfeeding guy and the knife dildo guy.
Oh, they were yucky.
Those
for
are
sure.
those are not classy at all. Like it's
Right, but it's that they didn't just show that over and over and over again. Like
Right.
there was definitely a story there.
And what's interesting is like they don't put Kevin Spacey in the opening credits because he is the killer, but it's
Right.
at a time when Kevin Spacey.
Pretty big name.
No, he's not. He's a nobody. So it's interesting because I'm gonna
Yeah,
bring this
you're right.
up.
Because this is before American Beauty.
Yes.
Damn.
And I'm gonna bring this up. It's the exact same year as The Unusual Suspects, which he also
Sneaky bastard.
is the unknown killer.
Well, I think he actually
the end of
wanted
the
his
movie.
name. I think that's a thing they did on purpose. They kept him out. They
Okay.
wanted him out for 7. Those are the ones that I put on there.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my top 5.
So narrowed down for me, I've got 7. Where's that? Jumanji.
To what a great movie. I hope that
So
remake doesn't
it's-
suck ass. That is Jumanji is like the pinnacle of like family friendly movies that aren't too like childish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Goofy movie. That movie was great.
Another family.
I watched that
movie.
movie
but
to
I
this
appreciate
day.
that because that's one that would slip through the cracks on me, and yet that it's right in our wheelhouse at this era.
Ace Ventura,
It's a great one.
because that's just fantastic. And then Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yeah, that was gonna be one of mine. The best, in my opinion, still the best video game movie ever made.
It's debatable.
Also, what came out this year is the best Batman movie ever made.
Not Batman Forever.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, it is.
Best Batman movie ever.
Yes.
That is an opinion.
That is an opinion.
you share with yourself.
You alone.
There's got to be someone out there that thinks that.
It's probably like 12
Val
dudes.
Kilmer. Val Kilmer's like, this movie is great.
Probably not Val Kilmer either, but that movie also made a lot of money. Anyway, also that came out this year is, and I'll say it because it gave us one of the only Academy Awards for Nicolas Cage's career, Leaving Las Vegas,
Yeah.
a film in which he filmed himself drunk so he could rewatch it to prep for the role.
Man's an artist.
This is not in my top 5, but we won't mention it because it's not in the top 10. But I feel like we should because it had such a cultural impact at the time. Showgirls, NC-17.
Didn't watch it.
With Cher.
No, with Elizabeth Berkley and Gina Gershon. About it's an NC-17 rated movie, and it's Magic Mike. It's basically Magic Mike before Magic Mike. Only it's very seedy. It's a lot of bad acting, and it's just about a strip club in Las Vegas.
Nice.
And it was a big deal because it was one of those films that was NC-17 and still made a lot of money at the box office.
Oh, sorry. Cher's in Burlesque.
Yeah, and like years later, complete different movie.
Right on.
Interesting.
It's a very it was something that was a big deal at the time. One of my favorite movies of all time, and is the exact opposite of what the internet actually is. Hackers.
Oh,
also
yes.
came out in 1995.
Hackers, yeah. The most accurate movie of all time.
And then another movie that was really bad, The Net. I mean, good movie, but also awful to what the internet actually was.
Which one of those two movies was less accurate?
Probably The Net.
No, probably Hackers, because in Hackers they're like playing some sort of video game. It looks like to hack like another guy's system.
Hell yeah.
It's really bad. Although The Net has some really bad things in it as well.
So you didn't put Bad Boys on your list?
That's what I was expecting.
I did not put Bad Boys on my list, no, because I knew we'd talk about it. I knew someone would already bring it up.
Look at you.
So before I go into the top 10, Sam, what are movies that you've seen this year?
Movies that I have not. I've never seen that came out this year.
yes.
All right. This is Braveheart.
You've never seen Braveheart?
Never seen Braveheart.
That's not a bad thing. Braveheart is long, and it only has like 3 great scenes.
Okay.
Waterworld.
Also not a bad thing.
Haven't seen
Apollo 13.
Ooh, that's a little, yeah.
Un-American.
I've seen fucking Armageddon. That's really all I need to see. And Armageddon's more American than
Tom
Apollo
Hanks.
13.
Tom Hanks,
let's
Kevin
see.
Bacon. That's all you need. America.
I've seen almost the rest of this, but the one movie that I've seen, but I still to this day, I hate, so I put on the list, Ace Ventura.
Really?
I hate Ace Ventura. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why it's funny. I think it's like Jim Carrey at his absolute worst.
I know someone who would fight you, like actually fight you for that.
Bring it. And then the last one, which I think the biggest hitter, I have never seen Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Have you seen Black Sheep?
Nope.
Okay, I was gonna say we've seen one, you've seen the other. The same movie.
Nope. Never seen either of those.
Tommy Boy I've grown to appreciate it over the course of time. I mean, there's still the joke that my friends and I always say every once in a while when you rattle off a phone number really quick, it's like 76549er32. Was there a niner in there? What are you calling from, a walkie-talkie?
Is that a Tommy Boy joke?
Yeah.
See, I'm unfamiliar.
Over my head.
And then there's also what was the other one you said before Tommy Boy?
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, Ace Ventura. I think you would actually like the original Ace Ventura because
No, I've seen it. And I
Oh,
hate
you have
it.
seen it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay, you
hate
went
it.
through
I
movies
hate
you
it. I
hate.
don't. I don't understand the allure at all. It's just like that to me. At least in the other
He's a
movies
very
that he's in,
eccentric character.
like this. Just we were talking about forced earlier. This seems like forced every time. Like you say, all right, do something funny, action. They just gotta let him do something funny. I don't get these movies at all. I don't like them.
The top 10 grossing movies for 1995,
Heavyweights.
Jumanji. At number 10, Waterworld. Casper, starring a very young Christina Ricci.
I have seen Casper the Friendly Ghost meets Wendy
Gotcha. I actually
Starring
just
Hilary
with
Duff.
Hilary Duff.
There you go.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
actually just rewatched Casper not too long ago. It's not a bad movie.
It's not.
It's better when you get Wendy.
But he's
in
got
there.
Bill Pullman in it too.
Yeah, it is. Bill Pullman was in Navy SEALs.
Yes. Seven, ironically enough, came in as the 7th highest grossing film of 1995.
Get out of town.
Nope, not making that up.
There is a God.
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Pocahontas. Goldeneye.
Oh, Colors of the Wind.
Yep. Apollo 13. One none of us mentioned, and we should have, because in my opinion, it's the best of the series.
Clueless.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. The Sammy Jackson, Bruce Willis team up.
That's better than the original Die Hard.
In my opinion, yes. I love the
You're
Simon
having a
Says
lot of
game.
opinions this year.
I'm gonna have a lot. I always have a lot of opinions. I mean, it's the games that they go through, and their back and forth is better than Bruce Willis and the guy from Family Matters back and forth. So, in my personal, and then number 1 was Toy Story, with 373 million.
Sure. Damn. Yeah, that seems fair.
What was the top toy that year?
Top toy of this year. Oh boy, got some doozies. So I just kind of looked. So, some big toys. These weren't the tops, because some of the tops are just like race cars. Like, okay. So I just picked a couple. So big one. We're not doing consoles, but I will make an exception for this one because it was interesting. The Virtual Boy came out that year. The Virtual Boy, you stick your face in this giant red thing, and it's just blaring red lights. It gave a lot of kids like headaches, so it wasn't a big thing. Like, it was supposed to be this huge like virtual reality. You never heard of the Virtual Boy?
No.
Oh my goodness, bizarre. Yeah. So you're supposed to be like the first dip into virtual reality, but it was just like checkered red laser lines with like Mario on it, and kids would be like, "This hurts my face," just looking into this thing. Do you need to see a picture of it?
Yeah, because maybe I played this like years later.
I don't know if you play. There's not a lot around.
Was there like a tennis game for this as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I played this then years later. I did play this.
It's this thing, man.
Yeah, I played that.
That's all kinds of messed up.
I did play that. But I was like, oh God, that was like years and years later.
So Virtual Boy was big that year.
Played it at a daycare.
It was also for the girls, which I even remember this. Does anybody remember Super Genie Gymnast?
No.
It was like a little doll, but you had a controller, and her hands would hook onto these gymnast equipment, and she would like flip and spin and like move around. I even remember seeing that as a kid, and like was like, that's pretty dope. And then the other big one, this was probably not the first time, but the big time it hit big. Junior Trampoline. Trampoline with an indoor trampoline with just like a little handlebar on it where kids just jump. That was very big that year.
All right.
That I hate whenever I see that at a house.
It's just like,
Did anybody have one of those?
Nope.
I didn't. Did anyone have a real trampoline?
Yeah.
I never had a real trampoline.
I didn't, but I knew a family that had a real trampoline indoors.
What?
That's insane. Was it in a padded room?
No, what it was is they had like this like little foyer area that like led to their basement that was just like this open area. So it was like a 2-story just emptiness up top. So they put a trampoline down there so you could just jump indoors. It was fun. But
That's interesting.
yeah.
So those were hot toys of that year.
Okay. 1996, Garrett. What do you have for 1996?
So from 1996, I've got
This was a rough year. This, I'm going to say, is not a great year for movies.
Are you insane?
No.
Space Jam,
Yes.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
Oh God.
This is movies for me.
That's fine. No,
All right.
You're right. These are movies for you. I shouldn't be so judgmental.
I just
You're all
also love that
fools.
Sam's like, oh, this is a great year. Second movie named. Gah.
Well, that's because you did Tim Allen. Is that not Tim Allen?
No, that's
Santa Claus.
That's Schwarzenegger.
It's Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that one's fine. Fuck Santa Claus. I don't like Tim Allen.
That's fine.
Okay, good.
I'm not a fan either. So
All right. Sorry,
Jesus
continue.
Christ.
I don't like it. That's fine.
Train Spotting,
Yeah.
Okay.
um,
Never seen it.
Independence Day.
Yeah, man. That's a pretty big trump card right there.
But one movie does not a year make.
Tell that
and
to
From
93.
Dusk Till Dawn.
No, tell that to everyone, but not in your case. I understand. From
That's-
Dusk Till
that's-
Dawn, yes.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Also,
That's my movies.
great movie, yes.
All right.
Space Jam's great. I watched Jingle All the Way all the time as a child.
Mhm.
And then I rewatched it again as an adult and was like, man, this is what instilled my hatred for Jake Lloyd this here.
No,
This specific
because
year.
I guarantee you did the exact same thing everyone else does. It was like maybe years after episode 1 came out, you rewatched Jingle All the Way and go, holy crap, that's Anakin from...
No.
You knew.
I knew it.
First time you watched Phantom Menace that was...
Yeah. I was like, that's a kid from Jingle All the Way.
Good for you, because
That's impressive.
Yes.
Most impressive. What is he better in?
I
Jingle
get
All
it.
the Way.
That's impressive. Most impressive. Nice. Anyway, continue on.
Wasn't even on purpose.
Well, that happened. Sam.
For me, so I added Independence Day. Will Smith's best movie, safe to say? It's tough to say.
It's tough to say. I feel I am more partial to something like Men in Black because...
It's on the list later.
I know. I'm going to say no because it's too much of an ensemble.
But Jeff Goldblum and him talk to each
No,
other.
but
and
okay.
it's so
yes,
good.
but I'm just saying it's too much of an ensemble for me to say it's his best movie.
Okay. All right, that's fair. But I put Independence Day on there. For horror, Scream.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big movie in the horror community. Space Jam, real quick, should it get remade?
Should not.
No, but not because you won't find someone to replace the era of Michael Jordan, but because you won't find the ensemble of NBA players to match around with him. Like, you could do LeBron to replace Jordan in a Space Jam movie, but you're not going to have people like Barkley, Ewing, Muggsy Bogues. Like, you're not going to have those players, and you're not going to have the Bill Murray and I'm blanking on
you could still have
Newman's.
Bill Murray.
You could still have Bill Murray. Actually, that could be your tie-in. Be like, I remember when this happened.
If I know that we have just beaten this idea to death, but I would like to see if they changed it from Space Jam and they switched it up. Something that I could see it doing is wrestling, and they did it with like John Cena, and you could use like the old guys like Hulk Hogan and the Undertaker and stuff. Like they get together and they take over their powers.
You're right.
I
Do
want
another
that.
Like do a different sport. Like mix it
Put
up.
that in quotation.
Hey, those men are athletes. But I think that's something
Yes.
that you could get behind.
I want that. Please.
All right, so Space Jam. I'm blanking on his name. Oh no.
Wayne Knight?
No, Wayne Knight. No.
That was Newman, but yes.
Adam Sandler's best
Oh,
movie.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. That
Yes.
is his best movie.
Yes, it is.
To me, there's no debate. That is
agree.
better. That is his best movie.
I will only debate one other movie on that.
Is it or is it Billy Madison or Big Daddy or?
No. We'll talk about it later. It comes up in these years.
Okay. And then for me, totally underrated comedy, Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Great movie. I actually need to watch it again because I haven't seen it in a really long time. But I remember just being so into it as a kid because those aliens were so creepy.
It's one of the best spoofs of all time because it really parodies B movies from the 1950s, like to a T.
Yeah. And then the big one, which I will not answer this debate because it is impossible. Nick Cage's best movie,
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah, there's one other one I really love.
No, it's not. I won't debate it.
Oh, okay.
Because Con Air and The Rock, there's no, you can't.
Face Off.
Those
Thank
are the two. Those are the two best. No, those are the two best because of the same movie, but just a little different. Like different things happening, but
Yes, The Rock though. Yes,
those are my big
absolutely.
ones for 1996.
And
So
see,
that's stacked, if you ask me, in a diverse categories.
Yeah.
right. And for the most part, you've taken a lot of the ones I was going to mention. So I'll just mention ones that to me stand out because of time, and I remember when them coming out being big deals. But like the original Mission Impossible
Yeah.
came out in 1990.
Big
Richard Donner, like you want to talk about a series like we talked about with X-Men in the annual a couple weeks ago that have changed over time. Like that's a very espionage, like cutthroat killer. Like the entire team
It's
is
very different from what it is today. The Mission
Extremely.
Impossible.
but it's still good. Tom Cruise was a big back then, so Jerry Maguire. You had that
Yeah,
famous
Jerry Maguire
lineup,
too.
"Show me the money."
You Complete Me.
That
Is
too.
that movie?
I think so.
I don't know.
I've never seen it.
Me neither.
That's
It's on
the
my
bad
list of
one.
movies I haven't seen. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Twister.
Never saw it.
But that was a huge
Costner,
movie.
right?
No, Paxton. Bill Paxton
He was
and
in
Helen
Navy
Hunt.
SEALs.
It's choice that you made that reference now.
But he's made it about two different people.
I know.
If you're a Star Trek fan, First Contact came out this year, featuring.
Sorry, say it again.
If you're a Star Trek fan, First Contact came out that year.
Yeah.
So there was also, excuse me, Eraser for the big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan group. And then I remember these last two movies, not because, okay, I remember Mighty Ducks 3 because I went to go see that.
Trash.
It was, and I was so excited for that movie. My parents
Which one is
took
that
me-
one?
Someone where they're in college, and Emilio Estevez isn't even their coach.
Oh, that sucks. And he just kind of shows up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
I remember it's the first movie I was ever let down by because I begged my parents to take me opening weekend.
Wait, are they in college and then like a prep academy?
I think it's like
like
a prep academy.
It's like a high school college preparatory academy. Isn't
Okay,
it?
maybe it's a high school that looks like a college or something. But
Yeah.
I was under the impression that they were in college, but sure. And I just remember being so let down by that movie. And then the other one I'll say is because before Titanic, this put Leo on the map. Romeo and Juliet. I remember that being
That's kind of a rad movie.
It's not bad because it's actually the actual words of the Shakespearean
and there's
play
guns
just
in it.
in modern day. And I remember it was one of those movies I swore never to watch because like, oh, all the girls like this. Da, da, da. And then I watched it like when I was 18 or something. I was like, this ain't bad.
It's like that kind of movie where like the whole time you're watching it, you don't realize that your head's kind of tilted.
Yeah.
You're trying to like figure out what's happening.
Yes.
And just so everybody knows, Bill Paxton was in Navy SEALs, not Bill Pullman. I just got excited at the name Bill and jumped the gun. So Bill Paxton was in Navy SEALs. Anyway.
So, Sam, what are some movies you've never seen this year?
Ooh, movies that I hadn't seen that year. Well, I already named a few of them. Jerry Maguire,
Right.
From Dusk Till Dawn, which is on my list. That will be remedied. Fargo. Again, Fargo is another one that I think is a very hip movie to like.
I think that became, though, over time.
Nutty Professor.
You're not missing much.
Perfect. Train Spotting.
Yeah, that's a good
Twister. Let's see what else. That's about it. I also hated The Cable Guy.
one. Yes, that is fair. That is his worst movie, in my opinion. So, top
And
10.
then Sling Blade.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen that, too, but fried potatoes or whatever from Billy Bob Thornton. That's the thing from that movie. Yeah. I know it,
Does
but
he
I've
say
never
fried
seen
potatoes?
it. Yeah.
I just thought he said Sling Blade.
No. I don't think he says Sling Blade at all.
Oh, so is that just when people do a bad impression? They're just going, "Oh, Sling Blade."
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
So the top 10 of this year, Eraser, Jerry Maguire, The Nutty Professor, because Eddie Murphy had
Eddie
drawing.
Murphy was still in
He
it.
still had
then.
pretty good.
Someone else who had
that.
drawing power at this time, Mel Gibson, Ransom at number 7. 101 Dalmatians, the live action version.
With Meryl Streep.
Glenn Close.
Glenn
Glenn
Close.
Close. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Meryl Streep's a lot prettier than Glenn Close. Number 5, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Number 4, The Rock. 3, Mission Impossible. Number 2, Twister. And Independence Day, crushing them all with
You're
$817
damn right.
million.
You know what's nice about this though? There's not comic book movies at the top of it every year.
No.
Like it's not the same 3 franchises at the top. It's like there's actually a chance.
Yeah.
I'd be interested. I'm surprised they don't show, or I'm surprised they haven't shown that like a top 10 list in the modern era for each year that doesn't include Star Wars, Marvel, or DC. I mean, DC's kind of on the bottom running of that, but they're still up there.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see that.
All right, 1997, Garrett.
Ooh.
No toys? We've got
Oh,
some
yeah,
good
sorry, I'm sorry.
toys.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the toys. My
One
bad.
of the biggest ones of all time.
I'm sorry. My fault. What are the toys?
1996. So this is not the biggest one, but I had this when I was a kid, and it was still on their list. Anybody have Gooey Louie Boogie? It's like this guy's head, and you put Gak. Remember
And you,
when
like,
Gak
pull
was
it
really
out
big
his
this year?
nose?
And you pull it out
Yep.
of his nose. You like squish his head down, and it comes out of his nose.
I never- but
Gak
I
was
remember.
really big this year.
I remember Gak. I had Gak.
And there's no point to it.
No.
It was just like, booger. I want that for $25. I totally appreciate going through this list, parents in the 90s being like, I'm not buying you that. Because none of the toys serve any function. It's just a thing. Or at least now there's like video games or there's something, there's like a purpose to it. It's like educational or something. These were just
Yeah.
like, you put it in this hole and it comes out the other hole.
I'm not buying you like that.
Yes. Laser challenge duel. This was like one of the big at-home laser challenges.
Was
I
this
know
one
a
you
lot of
wrapped
people-
around your wrist and?
No, this was
Okay.
before that. This is the one that you had a gun and then you put it on your chest.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was gray and it had a red reticle.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Because laser tag was huge. I remember going to I think it was Discovery Zone or something in St. Louis. Like it was like a big like
Laser challenge
indoor.
was big, and that was like one of the first at-home ones that was
Yeah.
pretty good. Mm-hmm. Except you just cheat. I remember my brother would call me out because I cheated all the time. I would just run with my hand covering the sensor, which is like it's not even cheating because you clearly know. It's like you got your hand over your heart. Nope. And then finally, the biggest one of this year, and maybe of the 90s, Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. I mean, I didn't have one.
No, that was when this was like the start of like it being released, or like Black Friday. Like this is the start of like the massive like injuries on Black Friday, like people in fights over like the last Tickle Me Elmo doll. I remember things like that from news stories.
Yeah, no, this was definitely the start of it. Maybe we just don't know the reporting of it. But that's the first toy that I can remember where like parents were beating each other up.
Right.
Yeah.
Garrett,
Probably because it was either that or the Gooey Louie Boogie.
1997.
97, man. This is a tricky year for me.
It was a weak year in my mind.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Air Force One.
Oh, yeah. That is his plane.
It is. I was watching it the other day. It gets so good.
And this is all me personally, but like
Sure.
Austin Powers,
Yeah.
Men in Black.
For what it was at the time, yes.
Men in Black, Hercules,
Yeah.
Face Off,
Yes.
which we already discussed is the best Nick Cage movie.
That's we've respectfully disagreed. I said that you can't decide the best Nick Cage movie, but
What was my other one? I remember watching a lot of these movies as a kid, like
Good.
frequently, but otherwise it's just like meh.
All right, then Sam, what is
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element? Yes.
for
Okay.
me,
Of course, Fifth
1997.
Element.
So this movie just reeks 90s movie, big time for me. Totally love it. Anytime it's still on TV, I will watch it. Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's such a great movie. That's got such a message that just like slaps you in the face.
This movie is I still remember the trailer to this day because
so
it was the
hardcore.
introduction of Blur's song 2. They just start playing it, and then all of a sudden you hear the woohoo, and like the ship comes down like out of like space, just blowing stuff up on the ground. And I remember sitting in the theater going, "This is going to be the best movie ever!"
I mean, it was kind of like a Team America.
Yeah.
Almost. It's like, look at what we can do.
Like, it's the first time I ever though remember a song in a trailer just being like, because then I saw the movie like I think maybe like later on. I was like,
It's not great.
that wasn't as good as I ever thought. But it's like the song matched with that, and like the 90s being like, yes. So continue.
Also, the name of the lead, Johnny Rico, is just like it was the epitome of 90s,
Yeah.
which was great for me. Men in Black is on there. Austin Powers, which I put on there. If I look back now, the franchise has kind of spoiled itself.
Right.
But for what that was at the time,
the first one is still
Huge.
very good. If you
Yeah.
go back and watch the first one and take it as just a spoof of like the Roger Moore Bond movies, it's very good.
but see that to me, like, this is
Which
a
is
bad
what it was,
example,
though, at the
but for
time.
what I feel for like when you get towards like the Austin Powers third one, that's where you get into like the
It's awful.
the Ace Ventura thing, where it's just like this isn't funny anymore. Like
Right.
it's not. It doesn't have. It feels so contrived and just not great to me. Con Air, obviously, and then big one for me. One of my favorite, more serious movies, Devil's Advocate,
Yes.
with Keanu Reeves.
That
and,
movie is still to this day very scary at the end.
Yeah,
once
it's creepy,
Al Pacino reveals himself.
It's tense. Al Pacino is so good in that movie, and
See Satan.
yeah, and it's creepy, but it's also really well shot too. Like, if you actually look at it, just like minor differences. Like his suits get progressive. Like when he starts as like a small town lawyer, he's wearing like white suits, and as he moves up the chain, he starts wearing more power suits. And then you notice that like his suits have gone from white to just like black on black on black as he gets like closer to like. So very interesting shots and very interesting decisions by the director. So good, fantastic movie.
So there's a couple I'm shocked you left off.
Bring it.
The Lost World.
Oh, that's one of the worst Jurassic Park
But it's
movies, though.
the only other one we get Goldblum.
For now. No, fuck that. Because Jeff Goldblum was they took his character away.
Yeah.
He was not the same guy in that movie.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Other notable releases, Titanic, of course. Like,
Wonder which one had the most money that year.
What was that about?
It was about Leonardo DiCaprio and Rose.
the movie that put Ben Affleck and Matt Damon on the map,
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, came out in
that was
97.
really
On
good.
my
That took
list.
me years to see, and it was actually really good. Really good. One of my personal sadly, this is one of my personal favorites, and it's one of my favorite Mark Wahlberg movies. Boogie Nights came out in 1997.
One of your favorites? Wait, one of your favorite movies or one of your favorite Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg movies.
Okay. I mean, his catalog is not inspiring.
No.
When I would put Shooter in his top 5,
Yes.
it's not a great indication of his work.
So you talked about Scream earlier. This is the first horror movie I remember seeing and being like, this is great horror. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay.
Mostly, although, because it had the what I eventually would come to know as the Cruel Intentions duo of Ryan Philippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar in this movie.
How do you think they built that chemistry?
So great. Such great chemistry. And Jennifer Love Hewitt when she was still a thing.
She is still a thing.
Flubber.
Never saw it.
But Robin Williams basically chasing around Gak for the
huge
entire
in the 90s.
the entire time. And then this is where we were at in comic book movies at the time. 97, Spawn.
Still would like them to remake one.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And
didn't
you know
see
what?
Spawn,
You could
but I'd
still
be into
use
it.
Malcolm Jai White. I didn't realize that was him until
Yeah.
Michael Jai White.
Jai White, yeah. I didn't realize that was him, but you could still use him.
Yeah.
Sure. And I bet he'd be super down.
Yeah, he would.
Get off the arrow.
He probably would. And then, the last one I want to remember, because I remember this being a big deal when it came out, G.I. Jane. Following a female in the military. The top grossing movies of the year, though, the independent film The Full Monty, about the fat male British strippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fifth Element, coming in number 9. A movie that... Wait, Sam, I always mix this up. Julia Roberts or Sandra Bullock? Which ones
Sandra
don't you
Bullock.
watch? It's Sandra Bullock, okay.
We've not seen Sandra Bullock movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen a Julia Roberts movie because she's in Oceans.
Oceans, okay. Anyway, My Best Friend's Wedding, Julia Roberts.
Not seen that movie, though.
This is a good Jim Carrey movie. Liar, Liar, coming in at number 7.
Yeah, because there's a plot. I mean, I guess there's a plot in Ace Ventura, but
The first one.
doesn't feel
Not really
like
much of a
it.
plot in the second one. Number 6, Jack Nicholson, As Good as It Gets. Number 5, Air Force One. Number 4, Bond at Tomorrow Never Dies. Number 3, Men in Black.
It's the worst one of his.
I would agree.
I would agree. A lot of people would disagree with us.
Goldeneye is his top.
Tomorrow Never Dies, I would agree, is his worst. But that's only because there are moments in Die Another Day that I love. And we won't talk about it.
I forgot about Die Another Day.
Oh, it's good. It's good for all the wrong reasons.
There's a great sword fight in that movie.
Anyway, Men in Black at number 3, The Lost World at number 2, and Titanic at number 1, grossing $1.8 billion worldwide.
Also, for some reason, I don't know why, but people are really into Romeo and Michelle's
Romeo, whatever, yeah.
high school reunion.
Take that.
Yeah, there weren't any big ones on this list that I hadn't seen, though. For 97.
Okay, then what were the toys for 97?
Toys for 1997. That's Starship Troopers. I don't think they made toys for that. Let's see. So big ones, not big this year. The Talk Boys, Talk Boy Juniors. If you remember, recording became a really big thing. You just talked to yourself, and you had one.
I had one. I've talked about it on this cast before. My dad went out on Christmas Eve and
Beat somebody to death.
Pretty much had to get one for me because I saw it in Home Alone 2 and thought it was the coolest thing ever. So yeah,
to keep yourself safe.
That was
to protect you and your family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just going with because of look at what we're doing now. It all stems from this. I would record myself and then you tape music and create your own little radio show with it.
Nice.
So, but yeah, and that's the one toy I remember my father going out and getting. So yeah, I had that. That was huge to me. Okay. Is there another one?
The only other one that there was Fashion Magic hair braids. I don't know if people remember that, but it was for girls that they could stamp braids into their hair. It was this machine that you could punch in different braids, and then you just stuck it onto your head, because that was a big thing in the 90s. Was hair that had beads in it. I
do remember that, but I don't remember the.
It was
machine.
a rough year for toys because so many parents had died hunting for them the year before.
For Tickle Me Elmo.
Yes.
All right.
1998, Garrett.
Armageddon.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Hands down. Saving Private Ryan.
Yep. Easy breezy.
Mulan.
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
Blade. American History X. And Rush Hour. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Not a lot of the same ones on my list.
American History X is really interesting because it's one of the few films that, and not even from a storytelling standpoint, which is a great story to tell about a neo-Nazi's redemption, basically.
Yeah.
But it's one of the few movies that I actually still know that was the director of photography was also the director, and it was from a no-name person, trying to come out. He set up every shot, he made sure everything was and that curb stomp and bathroom rape scene are still very vividly etched in my mind. It's some of the most graphic stuff.
I remember seeing scenes of it as a kid, but then I but I never watched all
you
of
should
it.
never have. We
No,
should
I
not have
guess
watched this when this came out.
No,
That is correct.
I guess not as a kid, but as like a young teen, I guess. But then I watched the whole movie as an adult, and I was just like, man, wow. Because just not only just like
It's intense.
it's really intense, but then also being able to like fully grasp all of the issues that they were hitting on and dressing on. You know, it was like, whoa.
I think that's the thing that movie did really well is that people love a redemption story, but it's usually a redemption it's a redemption that is by no means irredeemable. Whereas what his past was is something that a lot of people would see as irredeemable.
Sure.
So it was an actual redemption story as opposed to this guy sleeps with a lot of ladies and is a dick at the office. He's going to become a cool guy though. Like they actually did a gripping story about does this guy deserve redemption? And how does he go about it? And also keeping his what is his brother out of the whole mix.
Yeah.
Intense stuff.
Sam.
My turn. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot, some of the same Saving Private Ryan, Armageddon. I mean, Saving Private Ryan. You're not gonna beat that scene.
No,
you're not gonna beat storming the beach. It's so emotionally.
And to hear at
captivating.
the time World War II vets when they saw that movie say like
they were right back in it.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's kind of sad. It's kind of tragic, but
it's very terrifying. It's very sad, but it also shows you to do that with someone who was there or who was through war to see it. It shows you the detail that went into that film because that means that it was pretty accurate to what we saw.
Yeah. Also, it's just always a go-to for like Tom Hanks of just being an incredible actor.
Yeah, and it's one of the last times of like saying Spielberg's a great director.
And Vin Diesel's in it. So
yes, he is.
Oh God,
he's the.
But he's not really Vin Diesel. He's just
the military guy that like rescues the little girl in the city, and he's like, she reminds me of my sister, and I'm pretty sure he gets his head blown off by a sniper. Yeah, damn, intense. That movie's nuts. This is an intense year.
It was.
I'll even put it for this because it's not on my list, but I think it's worthy of. Oh, can I put it on my list? Let me see how long my list is. I cannot. But in terms of intensity, I mean, he moved on this like a little later on, but. For the early years, The Truman Show. Yeah. I really like that movie. I know some people are kind of on the fence about it.
No, interesting, because you've just been kind of dogging Carrie for a while.
I really liked this because he did his quirky things, but that was just like, sometimes he did that, and that was just who his character was. His character did that sometimes, not his character is a quirk machine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did I put on that? For 1998, I always try and pick one horror movie for me. I know it's probably on Joe's too, The Faculty.
Of course it is.
Fucking great movie. Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett.
Jordana Brewster. Usher.
Sure. What's
Jon
his name?
Stewart.
Jon Stewart. Great cast, man. And just a super awesome movie. Everybody, I don't know if I'll ever get to a point where I don't enjoy high school movies. Like, high school movies in the sense of that movie did
I can tell you we'll get to a point where it will be creepy, but...
But high school movies, because that one didn't feel like... Well, it was about the kids, though. They also did a lot of the faculty, and it wasn't just like... I feel like you got a lot more perspectives on that.
Pemke Jensen's in it, too.
Yeah. What a cast.
No, that's great... It might be the best version... Granted, I'm very biased towards it, but it might be it's, in my opinion, the best version of Invasions of the Body Snatchers I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's quite good. In terms of another one that I think is totally underappreciated for Will Smith.
Enemy of the State. So good.
Such a great
maybe Gene Hackman's
thriller.
last real good movie.
Have you seen it, Garrett? Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
You would
so good.
love it. And that's got a huge cast too. It's got like Jamie Kennedy and Jack Black is like just sitting around.
Guys in a van.
Yeah, guys in a van, like doing military. John Voight.
Yeah, it's just when people say like, oh, like his acting movies, like that was right around the time, like it was on towards the tail end of his swag.
Right, but he
still did it. He just did it. He was just acting, which was awesome. And then the one for when I was a kid, I was super into this movie when I was a kid at the time. Small Soldiers.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones voicing that. Yeah.
That
I went to go see that. I had all the Burger King toys.
Oh yeah, that movie was so cool. I totally forget what the name of the good guys were in that though.
Oh shit.
It's like Gorgonites.
Yeah, the Gorgonites. That's exactly what it was.
That movie was so cool because it was like Toy Story but super hardcore. And who is it? Somebody big was in that, I think.
Looking at.
Oh, Phil Hartman. It's one of his last roles.
No, the kid. Who was the kid?
David Cross was in it.
It's not Devin Swanson, is it?
Kirsten Dunst was in it.
Yeah, she is. She was also in Jumanji. We didn't mention
Kristen
that.
Dunst, yeah.
Oh shit, she was.
Yeah.
Well, who else was? Someone else was in Jumanji. What was the son's name?
I don't know.
Jay Moore.
I don't know who.
Jay Moore's not a big name in it.
No, I'm.
He's a huge name.
All right. So anyway, well, you guys are looking that up. Some of the movies I picked from this year.
David Cross was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
This
said.
movie was
Yeah, you're
not
right.
big at the time, but became a cult classic, and eventually in high school when I was on the bowling team was huge with us. The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was more for the bowling scenes and everything else, and to us it was funny.
The movie wasn't that great.
This is something about I liked it. There's
I
something
liked it, but I like it wasn't. It doesn't deserve the hype that it gets.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's become a cult thing. So also this year there's something about Mary,
Brett Favre's best role.
his only role, at least to
Yeah.
my knowledge. But it's one of Ben Stiller's like last great movies. I want to say outside of like Dodgeball and stuff like that. Then of course this year gave us Lindsay Lohan with The Parent Trap.
Yep.
Also. And then we get into some things of one of my personal favorites. And to this day, it has some of the best twists ever in a film. Wild Things. If you've never seen Wild Things,
Nope.
do yourself a favor.
Who's in Wild Things, Joe?
Denise Richards and Naomi Campbell. Also
they are.
Kevin Bacon and Matt Dillon.
You had me at Kevin Bacon.
And Bill Murray. Wild Things is a great movie. And not for the reasons you think it's a great movie.
The sexy stuff.
Yeah. It's not because of that. Like
There's a lot of sexy stuff.
There's a
in
lot
that.
of sexy stuff, and it's great. But there are so many twists in this movie that it's great.
As long as you can admit that.
And then finally, the last one I'll mention is because this to me was like the essential high school party movie for a long time in my brain. Can't Hardly Wait. So with Jennifer Love Hewitt as
seen
well,
it.
Seth Green.
Never seen it.
Well, maybe it made the list of films you've never seen, Sam. What are some films you've never seen from this year?
Let's see. So not actually not many. Let's see. Shakespeare in Love, but that's not a big thing. Prince of Egypt. Never seen it.
Went to a Catholic school that we were forced to watch it eventually.
That's terrible.
I actually really enjoy that. It's a like if you're even vaguely interested in like
I bet it's good.
depictions of that, like it tells the story really well. The imagery is really cool. Honestly, DreamWorks would have been okay if they would have just stopped their animation right here and
But-
did not progress with anything else.
Oh, you would never got Shrek then.
I would have been okay with that.
Oh.
Shrek was good.
Worth
Shrek
the
was
sacrifice.
huh? Yeah.
Worth the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then the only never seen The Wedding Singer.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, see, that's a good one to me. That's a good Adam. It's not great, but it's a good Adam Sandler film.
All right. Those are really the biggest ones.
All right, top 10 for this year. Lethal Weapon 4 at number 10. Shakespeare in Love at 9. Eddie Murphy still having drawing power with Dr. Dolittle at number 8. Mulan at 7. Deep Impact, which we didn't even talk about,
Oh, I got Armageddon. It's fine.
at number 6. A Bug's Life at number 5.
That's a good movie.
I prefer Ants.
Do you?
Because of the
Really?
cast.
You communist.
Yeah. What? Okay. There's some about Mary at 4. This one, I have no clue how.
Number one is.
Yeah, but this one, Godzilla at
That's
3.
what I was gonna say. It was number one. Dang it.
Really?
Yeah. Because
Oh.
everybody saw it and was like, oh.
Yeah,
But they
no.
already gave their money.
This was number 3. Saving Private Ryan 2. Number 1 was Armageddon. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. but
Which was a
Godzilla-
Disney movie.
Oh shit! It was.
It's distributed by Disney.
Wow.
How good was Godzilla though?
Not good. Not good.
Matthew Broderick shines like the sun.
Toys, Sam.
Toys for 1998.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Ooh, this is a big one. Did anyone have? Well, this one isn't a big one, but the one after was another one of the really big ones. Did anybody have a Bash and Brawl wrestler?
No.
It's like the evolution of the Armstrong. They were like these.
I remember the Armstrong ones.
They were
but
like these 21-inch tall wrestler characters, and that was back when it was like WCW and NWO. So it would be like Hulk Hogan, Sting, and they would be like kind of mushy, so you could mush them around. If you hit them hard enough, they said like their catchphrases.
Yeah.
Those were really
I had
big. But nothing was
Had a Hulk
as big
Hogan.
as this was the year of the Tamagotchi.
Ooh.
Did anybody have
Damn,
one?
yeah.
I had an off-brand dinosaur one.
I had like
I
3
didn't.
Tamagotchis.
I didn't, but I know people that did.
I had like
I'll
3.
be honest, I was so dumb when I was that age. I didn't know what was happening, and he's just.
And it died.
I don't know if it died because I didn't know what it was. I didn't get it. I did not understand it at all.
That's fair, man. I mean, it's a lot to like because they were
They were pets. They were virtual pets, basically.
It was
Yeah.
like 3
But it
pixels
was like-
on the screen.
It's like, hey, give it to like a 10-year-old or less, and it was like, like I've got a mini computer that once it dies, I'm pretty sure like the system is just done. It doesn't come back on ever.
Yeah.
Probably.
You have to put in a new battery and reset it.
Yeah, so it was like
That's
that
dead.
happens, and yeah, it was weird.
But
All right,
it was a huge deal.
1999.
We're at the end.
We are at the end. Garrett, what do you have? Because 1999 is a good year for movies.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You got American Beauty. It's great.
Oh, won Best Picture that year.
Great
Yeah.
movie.
The Matrix.
Mhm.
Fight Club.
Mhm.
The Iron Giant.
Some of Vin Diesel's best work.
We get Star Wars coming back in.
Yeah, Phantom Menace.
Put that on the list. Best movie of that year?
No,
Or are you just commenting?
I'm just commenting.
All right, checking. It's worth it, but
Being John Malkovich.
Yeah, that's a good
saw
movie.
it.
It's one of those weird meta movies that I
It's like
actually
a sur-
kind of like,
It's a surreal dark comedy.
just because it's kind of funny to see.
Sounds intellectual.
It is, but it's just one of those weird things to find a door that lets you into the brain of a human being, and it
John
actually is,
Malkovich.
and it actually is John Malkovich. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
kind of funny. So
Galaxy Quest.
yeah, sure. Sam,
This was a great year for movies.
it was.
Looking at it now. Office Space.
Ooh.
Classic.
Yeah.
Didn't even work in an office. Have been fortunate to still to this day not work in an office of that kind of style.
Yep.
But I hear it's even better in that place. Let's see. Joe, I won't steal this one from you. I'll save it for you. You can have it.
Okay.
Wild Wild West.
Yes.
I can't even say underrated. Most like shit on movie that is awesome.
Yeah,
Like this movie, you can't even say underrated because people just think it's trash. And
but it's good.
It's such a good movie.
like, listen. Am I glad they never made a sequel? Of course,
yeah, because
but-
you can't mess with perfection.
but it's so good. Kevin Kline playing both Artemis Gordon and Ulysses S. Grant. It's very good.
That cast
Kenneth Branagh is Loveless.
is ballin'. Yes, Kenneth Branagh as Loveless is amazing. Selma Hayek
yeah.
being Selma Hayek.
Will Smith at his swaggiest, maybe? Maybe.
He was swaggiest in Fresh Prince.
Well, yes.
He's cowboy swagging hard. Like that movie has it all, and I don't understand why people don't like it.
Right. Oh, and I was a fan of the TV show before I saw it, and I was still okay with it.
To me, there was no TV show. I know there was. I
Right.
know there definitely was. That movie is so good. Let's see. What else? Save that one for you. Deep Blue Sea. Great shark movie in terms of shark movies. Let's see. Talked about The Matrix. And then the biggest one of this year, 1999's The Mummy.
Okay. Yeah.
Best action movie of the 90s / all time. Brendan Fraser kills it in that movie.
It's his best movie.
Second best movie is probably like Bedazzled.
I was going to say George of the Jungle, but
Never saw it. What the fuck happened to him, man? It's just but you know what?
he
The
gave us
Mummy
gold
was-
while he had.
True. The Mummy was so good. I didn't even realize when I was younger that it was
A remake?
supposed to be like a remake of, because it's not even close
No.
to the original The Mummy. It's not even close to any of the Mummy movies.
Oh, no.
Which is why I'm totally on board for this reboot, being like, yeah, sure, it's a reboot. No, it's not. It's a movie with that creature in it. But that was the epitome of the 90s action movie for me, was that or Wild Wild West. Of just like, that was an action movie, Wild Wild West was a toy machine.
Sure. So I'm assuming the one you left to me is Dogma.
You bet your booty.
Because that is... I'm not going to say it. Dang, I won't always say that word, but
Ironically?
yeah, and it's not. So
Tell me what is ironic about it, Joe. Say it.
I didn't see the movie in 1999.
That doesn't matter.
I didn't see it till like maybe 2 or 3 years afterwards. But it is one of my favorite films, and a lot of it has to do with the opening. It's the only time I've ever seen actual like words before a film. They don't have to do anything with the film, but it's just a disclaimer saying, "Don't judge us on this film."
Don't get butthurt.
That it's meant for God, and then. It's all comedic, and it has such a build though of like you feel like some stuff is about to go down when those elevator doors close. That the opening, it's got one of the best openings ever to me, and it's got me hooked and made me a Kevin Smith fan ever since.
You gotta
films-
respect him too, because all the cards are on the table for that.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no. I mean, he loves to take risks and he loves to do whatever he wants to do. But
that was like the biggest.
That one was dicks out. Like this is what it is. That was good.
Other movies that came out this year, which I'm shocked you didn't mention. The Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch Project, yeah, but I wanted to use Deep Blue Sea.
Gotcha.
I would rather watch Deep Blue Sea than Blair Witch Project.
I would agree. The Blair Witch Project, though, like I remember,
started a huge trend
it's maybe the first found footage movie.
that exploded. Sure, for sure. So much so that
I
apparently it
remember,
was
and
tricking
this is so
people.
sad. I was one of the people who thought the commercials for it was real.
And that was the point.
Right. Because the cast sign deals and everything, they weren't allowed to be seen when they were promoting this. Like they they could not tell people they were in this. It's like people would see them, but they were no one. So
Unfortunately, it was also 1999, so not as difficult a task as today.
Shyamalan. Yep. The Sixth Sense.
Which we will talk about in a few weeks.
We will.
Probably a huge mistake on his part.
Possibly. American Pie.
Never got into that series. A good movie.
Sure.
But I never got into it, especially because I didn't see it at a young enough age to like be completely on board with some of the humor.
I didn't get on board till the second one because that's when I got old enough to finally see them. But the first two were good. 3 is meh, and the reunion's okay, and then all the offshoots are awful.
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, I actually watched that for the first
Truth.
time the other day, and I really enjoyed it. It was painfully obvious that it was a 90s movie.
Oh, sure.
But it was like
that's
I
almost
really,
all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it. It was like actually a pretty decent movie.
And then there's many more I want to talk about, but the last two I'll mention.
We said The Matrix, right?
We did, yeah.
I said it. That was
Garrett
like one of my first ones.
It's interesting though that you can go through that. Like you can just say The Matrix and like everybody already knows why it's such a big deal.
Right. You just have to say the name.
Yeah.
But then also South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
I was hoping you were going to say that one.
Great musical.
Great. Oh, yes. One of the best musicals ever. Sadly, because it's a cartoon.
Did you say there's no musicals in this era?
No, I said, yeah. I was trying to fish for an opening earlier. And then also Cruel Intentions, 1999.
You love sexy thrillers.
I do.
Joe loves sexy thrillers. When's the last sexy thriller that's come out?
I don't know. There used to be a bunch in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and now there's not really any.
Because people are
Crimson
like, that
Peak?
seems dumb.
I never saw it.
I don't think
like
that's
that
a
might-
sexy thriller.
I thought that was more of a time period
I don't
thing.
think it's a sexy thriller. It's a thriller.
But Sam, some movies you've never seen this year.
I'm so happy that I know that you love sexy thrillers. You guys mentioned it. Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Never seen it. Let's see. Actually, I've seen most of them this year because I was finally old enough to really start watching movies. If you can count Stuart Little. Never saw Stuart Little. Talented Mr. Ripley. Never saw that either.
Nope.
It's okay. It's pretty good.
The last one that I'll give you. Oh, Sleepy Hollow. Forgot that came out. No, that's really the only big ones that I haven't seen.
Good.
Top 10 from that year: Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, American Beauty, Bond with The World Is Not Enough.
Great fucking movie.
It is. It's one of the underrated ones.
It's right under Goldeneye, in my opinion.
It's very underrated. Notting Hill, when Hugh Grant was still a thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's still a thing. He's just a gross thing.
Hey, I saw The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He was okay in that.
Yeah.
Is he in that?
Yeah, he's in it.
Is he gross?
No.
Okay.
Number 6, The Mummy. 5, Tarzan. 4, The Matrix. 3, Toy Story 2. Number 2, The Sixth Sense.
Wait, did you say Hugh Laurie?
No, Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Okay, good. I don't know why. I don't know.
And number 1, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
And so it begins.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right on. Toys?
Toys, and then we'll figure out which, in our opinion, was the best.
That's why I get so mad, because I hate doing this. So this is one that I know I had. Does anybody remember Magic Color Twirl Paint? It was like a little box.
Yeah, you like shot it into the thing and it spun it around.
Yeah, and you would press it and it would just spin the art, and it was like you would put like powder in there or liquid in there,
Yes.
and it would make like a design. That I just knew I owned that one. That wasn't really on the top list. I just wanted to see if I was the only one. The big one was another classic, the Barbie Dreamhouse.
I do remember that coming out.
Big deal. Barbie needed to live in a house, so it might as well.
I mean, like, I remember it, but
magical.
Like, it was not. None of my cousins got that or anything. So,
if there's any indicator that I did kind of going through the 90s in terms of toys, it's that maybe not so much today when I look through toys, because I do buy Legos, but the like toys made for girls and toys made for boys was rampant.
Oh, sure.
In that area.
Yeah.
I think every single year one of the top sellers was some sort of kitchen
Oh, of course.
for girls. Yeah. I don't think it's as bad today, not nearly, but yeah, it was something in the 90s.
All right, so in your guys' opinion, what's the best year for movies
Go ahead, Garrett.
between 95 and 99 in this 5-year gap?
This is harder. Much harder.
Yeah.
This is harder for me, but it only comes down to 2 years for me.
It was between 99 and what year was it? I want to say it was 97. Yeah, it was between 99 and 97 for me. 99 has all those movies that we just listed there.
Yes.
But I mean, like, I watched those movies a lot, and same with a lot of the movies in 97. I watched Spawn a lot. I watched Austin Powers 1 a lot. I watched George of the Jungle a lot. Like, I would go over to my cousin's house, and his dad just had this big collection of movies, and we would just watch movies all the time. And a lot of them came from those 2 years, so I'd have to pick 99.
Okay. I can respect it, because for me it comes down to 99 and 95, and I'm still flip-flopping on which I think is better.
Well, then it's settled. Because we were in the same boat.
Okay.
You're in the same boat as I am, 95 and 99. Unfortunately, I will give it to one movie because there is always that one movie that's the turning point. For me, it is The Mummy.
Okay.
That is a movie that to this day, you always say that you have that movie, but if it's on, I am turning it. Like, I'm leaving it on. When that movie comes on, I will leave it on, but I will also
Just direct your attention to it.
call, text, or message in some way, friend of the show, Brian, from Good, Bad, 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 to make sure that he also knows that it is on. Because we both worship that movie. So there's so many strong emotions that come through that movie, through me, through just also like my friendship with him growing up, and that movie just transcends. So I'll go with 99 as well.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go with 99 just because some of the ones we just didn't even mention, like Any Given Sunday. I love that football movie.
Varsity Blues.
No, that's 2001.
Isn't it, though?
It's not 99.
Isn't it, though?
But End of Days, just a great Schwarzenegger movie. He tries to stop the apocalypse. It's so bad, but so good. And then you also
Varsity
have
Blues, 1999.
Is it 99?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. All right, even more.
It's a concussion.
Yeah, even more reason to love 1999. And then you also have Three Kings, which is a pretty good movie as well. And it's just, it's hard for me.
It's a nice swan song.
It is. There are so many films I love from this year.
Yeah.
And I go back to and I watch again and again. And 95 has a bunch as well, but I think 99 just really has more.
99 has Lake Placid.
Yeah.
All right, so I might be switching back to 95.
Because of Lake Placid?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Blue Streak was 99 too. God, that was a great movie.
There's just, I don't know, maybe makes you think a lot just about, are these movies still out there? Like, are these movies still being made today? Or is it so clogged up that you're just not getting these these movies are just fun. It's also probably harking back to your childhood.
Oh, you mean like, it seems like original movies that are...
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to know something? I think our parents were saying the same thing.
Probably.
Like when they were...
You always harken back to your youth as a...
Go came out in 99. Sorry, continue.
Never watched that.
No, I mean, that's kind of all I had, is that it's probably just you also feeling sentimental.
Yeah, and you might be right. Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels came out in 99.
Oh, yeah.
So 99 it is.
99 it is. I think we're all sadly in agreement.
If I was ever on the edge after that.
That tipped it.
Yeah.
So there you go, 1999.
Yeah, can I get a 3 Ys with onions and give me some extra ketchup?
You want onions on it?
Yeah, extra onions.
Okay, so I want onions on it.
The 3 Ys.
Yes, all right.
As usual, we end every episode with what's piquing our interest, where we just say what's piquing our interest. I start the same way. We do this segment every week. I start the same way with Garrett every week. But it's kind of funny because right before we do peeking, Garrett always gets that look like he just did of, oh God, I don't remember if I had one.
Even though
even though I know it's coming right to me every time I do it. But you have it, so
it's my process. Right? No, the first of the figures that I bought, the Spider-Man figures.
Nice.
The first of those came in this past week, and it's nice. It's quite nice. I enjoy it. It's not as big as I was expecting, but it's
pretty
quite nice. Yeah,
It's like a 6-inch fig.
Yeah.
Like, yay tall.
yeah.
Okay. That's kind of nice because you can, as a collector, things take up room.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice when you have something smaller like that too.
And as a 0.5 onto that, just got some new bookshelves from IKEA
Yeah, you
to
did.
put all my stuff up on.
Love me some IKEA.
I'm excited.
Sorry, it's not my turn until Joe announces me.
that's fine. You can.
Are you
go.
looking up your peeking?
No,
right
I'm
now?
not. Go
Okay,
ahead.
just checking. All right, so my piquing my interest, I'm going to do a Garrett and have 2 things. One, just because it just happened, I want to give just not a shout out, he's not going to hear, to Donald Glover, because I thoroughly enjoyed his acceptance speech at the Golden Globes for Atlanta. It was really refreshing, especially with just kind of the political times that we're in, and just it's even been for the last probably forever, but since I've been noticing it the last 5 years, is everyone's got to make some kind of statement. Everybody's got to
Have
some kind of cause or some kind of message. He just thanked the people of Atlanta for inspiring him, and then he also thanked the Migos for making Bad and Bougie because it's the best song of all time, even though it has nothing to do with his show. Remembering that that's what it's about, and it sounds like a douchey thing to say, but that's your job, is to entertain, and movies to me will always be as a way to escape. To escape whatever issues you have or anything like that, and that's what it was. And to me, that's what he did in that thank you speech. He thanked who he needed to thank, and then he made a joke, a joke at no one's expense and actually at someone's gain.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Also piquing my interest, I'm gonna go see Underworld this week. So
No, I was going to ask you guys when you came in if anyone had seen it yet.
I'm gonna see Underworld this week.
When are you gonna go see it?
I don't know.
Let me know.
That one looks so bad.
I don't know. I just want to see it.
It looks so bad. What's piquing my interest this week is coming in about a couple weeks to Netflix. The series Frontier, starring Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
That one looks really good.
I didn't know that was a Netflix series.
Yep.
Well, no.
Oh.
It is a Netflix series for the United States, but the whole 6-episode season has already aired on Discovery Channel Canada. Because it is about Canada in the 1700s and the fur trading and everything else. And I'd first heard this from a Smodcast with Kevin Smith and Scott Moser, who's from Canada and worked a little bit on the series and everything else. And I like colonial time period. I'm not a big medieval thing, but I like colonial time period. And there's something about, and this sounds so stupid because I still to this day don't want to see, what's the DiCaprio film, The Revenant?
Yeah. Revenant.
I still don't want to see that. But this looks great to me.
Is Jason Momoa typecast, but also not typecast at the same time?
I think he's typecast, but his typecast is a wide range of they're all the same person, but you can put that person in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
So he's like Daniel Day-Lewis, but he will not win something.
I can respect that statement. I know a lot of people that will not.
He's got such range, though.
I'm actually starting to wonder, though, if he can speak clearly.
Jason Momoa?
In a character. Because a lot of his stuff, he mumbles.
It's because his muscles clog up his throat. I'm just saying. You can close out. Go ahead.
If your muscles are clogging up your throat, you can write to us instead. There's many different ways you can do that. You can email us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at 3wiseradio or hashtag 3wiseradio, on Instagram at 3wiseradio as well.
If these are your segues out, where you just say whatever I said, but if the audience member is doing it, I will start abusing this.
Feel free. Let's see how far we can take this. And we'll see how far next week.
3 Wise Radio is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.